What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Pisto Pack.
What is up? Let's catch up.
Let's catch up.
Oh, the things that have been happening here. We have had quite the last year, truly.
We don't try to do all of the things all at the same time. We don't plan that.
No.
We don't try to do that. It's not intentional.
No.
It's just how it's been. It's not how it's going to be.
No.
Universe, you're listening.
Please.
Let's take you back to August 27th. We hand in our check to Perry Homes to build our beautiful brand new home, which we're sitting in. And then what happens?
And then we find out we're having a baby. All in the same day.
The same exact day.
It takes 9 months to grow a baby. And it takes 9 months to build a house. So
we make this big, huge, life-changing thing, and then here comes the curveball, because we're the Pisto Pack, and that's how it goes.
And more curveballs.
That's how it went. That is how it went. We have made a vow.
We're not doing this anymore.
And it's over with.
Yeah.
So we decided to proceed with both things same time, which is a lot of things at the same time.
Yep.
Holidays go really well.
Yep.
Allison's third birthday went really, really well.
Yeah, all along that time, I was very sick in the first little bit of my pregnancy.
That's true.
I did not feel good for probably the first 18, 20 weeks.
Yeah, you had a rough start.
Which was not how things were with Ellie. So that was a total change of pace for us with a very busy toddler. And then we celebrated Ellie's birthday.
Real quick, it comes down to she couldn't rest as much. I'm working. She has a toddler. She's trying to grow a baby. We're trying to pack a house. We're trying to prepare a house. We're trying to do all of these things at the same time. Holidays, yeah, it's a lot at once.
Yeah. And it just ended up kind of all weighing on us at the exact same time. So that was really, really tricky.
We did our best to get a storage unit, start moving early. We're over here touring the house during the building process. I think we missed a few days here and there, but we were here almost every single day, which, we highly recommend that you do that for building a house.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Take videos, take pictures, take all the things.
Take more pictures. Yeah, take more pictures than you think that you need, because I'm constantly referring to pictures that I took just of progress.
Framing.
To see where framing is, where studs are, where pipes are. So just take a lot of pictures. And we'll do a whole thing on selling a house, building a house, our thoughts. We're not experts, but we did it. So we'll save that for another time, but take a lot of pictures. So anyways, Ellie's birthday was great. Everything was great. And then, 3 days later?
Yeah, 3 days later, we find out that our little girl has type 1 diabetes.
Completely blindsided.
Yeah.
Not a single idea that was coming. Basically, what had happened was we would go to Fizz, and we would get they would get a Diet Dr. Pepper, and I don't drink soda, but she was really going to town on soda. That was the thing. She was crying for soda, really wanting soda, really drinking soda fast. And then, she couldn't control her bladder very well.
Yeah, and she potty trained in November. So we were still a little bit early.
We weren't having any trouble other than that, though. No. It was really weird. And we were talking about, what is going on with the soda.
Yeah.
It was really strange.
Yeah.
And then...
Yeah, so the night, it was a Monday night. And basically, these few nights, my mom was here. We were kind of eating a little more junk food coming out of the holidays, celebrating birthday, doing all these things.
Oh, she was eating a lot of sugar.
And cupcakes, all of this stuff. So...
We didn't think anything of it because it was the holidays and everyone's kind of a little bit snacky. We're not a snacky family, but we do snack. We enjoy ourselves on the holidays. That's how I'll put it, right? And then we get back on track really quick. So we had the pop thing happening. We had a little bit of extra sugar thing happening. She mentioned her mother was here.
Yeah. So I didn't know, my mom would keep her during the day, when we'd be working. And so you know how it is with grandparents. Like, kids get whatever they want whenever they want it, and I'm not opposed to that. I know it's gonna happen. Parents have to be kind of the bad cop whenever it comes to nutrition. Grandparents get to do the spoiling. That's just how it goes. So we'd come home from work, and Ellie would be like, really hungry, really thirsty. My mom's like, she's been drinking a lot today. Well, she was also turning 3, and that's a big time for a growth spurt. So I wasn't really thinking anything of it. But then there was a Monday night, that she just could not get to sleep. And that was not like her. She's been kind of a routine kid most of her life, where you get her in her bed, you get her cozy, she kind of does the rest. And she just wouldn't calm down. Like, severe FOMO. So getting her like drinks of water, which most parents will tell you that your kid gets the most thirsty when it's time for bed. They just are always like, I need water. So I thought we were kind of dealing with something like that, but she woke up one morning at 3:30, and she said she needed to go potty. And when we went to go get her up, her whole bed was wet. All of her was wet. Like, we had to change everything. And that was not like her. So that scared my mommy heart, because that really kind of in medical world means very few things. UTI or diabetes. So I ran to my clinic at 3:30 in the morning and grabbed some urine dipsticks and also a glucometer. And I got her back up when I got home, and I dipped her urine, and she immediately had sugar in her urine. So I checked her sugar, and she was at 348, which is way too high.
Can you explain why the sugar in her urine is a concern?
Yeah, so you really shouldn't have sugar in your urine at all. Like, people that are diabetic will have sugar in their urine, but sugar in your urine really means, like, diabetes. Like, you are having, whether it's type 1 or type 2, like, you should not have glucose in your urine other than that. So we headed up to Primary Children's Hospital and went into their ER.
Was
and
that maybe 4:30 at that point? Maybe you think, or 4ish or something?
I think it was 5, but yeah, around there.
I had hurried and got ready for work, got all my stuff. We kind of got the house situated and headed out.
Yeah.
Relatively quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So mad dash there. It was really interesting because when we got to the ER, they were kind of checking her for ketones and like seeing if she was in DKA, which she was not. All of her numbers were very reassuring, so that was a little tricky for that team, but we were very, very thankful. We spent a night up at Primary Children's, did a mad dash on diabetes, dosing of insulin, all of that, which has been...
I had to go to work and open the building, wait for someone to cover me, go back to the hospital.
Yeah.
We were kind of in this like phase of like everything points to diabetes, but no one's saying for sure it's diabetes. They're running tests. They're doing all these things. Ellie was in great spirits the whole time.
Trooper.
She was in fantastic spirits the entire time.
Yeah.
And the curveball was that usually the sign of diabetes is you find your child in DKA. That's usually how they come in, right? They come in, they're in DKA, they're unresponsive, but they're still breathing. And, we found it so early that we were not in DKA, and it was throwing everybody off.
Yeah.
And if she didn't have a medical background, I would not have ever thought of that as a possibility. So very thankful, and kudos to Mom, and anyone that had a similar experience but found their child in DKA, our heart goes out to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
We talked about it all the time as far as being like, we would have a hard time bouncing back if that's how we had found out.
Yeah.
So, if that's how you found out, our heart goes out to you. Good for you guys for making it through all of that, because it was hard on us, and we were ahead.
Yeah.
Like, it was really a hit to us, and we caught it really early, like abnormally early.
Yeah. The doctors, even the endocrinology team is like, this was really kind of a bizarre finding. Her A1C was at 9.2, and that's coming out of the holidays because we ate like crap. Like, Halloween to
Yeah. I don't
to
eat
her
a lot
birthday.
of sugar, but I will like Christmas for me. Part of the holidays is I like to have a little bit of sugar. We like to make cookies. We like to deliver treats.
Yeah.
We like to do these kinds of things. And if you have a 3-year-old, or sorry, a 2-year-old at the time, you know, she's excited about it. She wants to have something. We just thought it was just holiday normal stuff with this weird pop thing that we kind of just like, that's weird. And that was kind of mostly the end of it. It wasn't like,
Yeah,
we
because it
weren't
wasn't
like, what's going on
happening
with the pop thing?
otherwise.
Yeah, no, it was just like, she's acting crazy about pop. She was like
And we
almost
didn't-
like addicted to pop almost.
Yeah.
Was
And
the
we
behavior.
didn't live far from Fizz. We didn't live far from Fizz. So, like, by the time, like, we would get out of Fizz parking lot and get headed home, her soda was already gone. And most of the time, by the time we were walking in the door, she was already peeing her pants.
Yeah, we were getting on. I don't remember if you were, but I was getting on her case pretty seriously about slow down with your pop, because she was just like, we're showing this just in case you have a similar experience.
Yeah.
I'm not saying freak out, but I'm just telling you this is what happened to us, right? She just almost seemed addicted to it. She was crying because she couldn't have it. She was crying because it was empty. She was crying because she wanted more. She was drinking it really fast. Mm-hmm. She wasn't able to control her bladder because she was drinking it so fast or whatever. Yeah. And we noticed it was different. That's all I'm saying. It was just like, what is going on with this?
Yeah.
It was really weird. So
there's a lot of things in little ones or in kids period, people period, that your mind will always try to go towards like an explanation for those symptoms. Like, oh, they peed the bed because, you know, they're new potty training or, you know, something like that. But that was just really excessive for her, even with the amount of water that she drank. So
let me ask you this question. So in the medical field, what advice would you give to someone who's not in the medical field to try to not have like a anxiety moment when something changes, but to kind of like, what would be, I guess, a clue? I should have thought about this before I said it, but like, what would be a clue that you would say to someone as far as like, you know, because your kid does go through a lot of changes and everything's never the same and it's always changing. Mm-hmm. Is there something you would say like, okay, if you see this, investigate? Mm-hmm. Like, not worry, don't freak out, but if you see this, investigate, right?
Yeah.
Do you have something you would say?
In regards to diabetes.
Specifically
Type 1 diabetes. I would definitely, if your parent gut tells you something is off, do not be afraid to go to your pediatrician. If you know something's up with your baby, you know something's a little bit off, be safe rather than sorry. And if you don't feel stupid, like every pediatrician, every provider, if they're getting upset with you because they feel like you're asking stupid questions, find a different provider.
Absolutely.
Because we don't go to school for all that time to, like, it's reassuring to us to be able to just reassure somebody else. Do the testing, do the screening. If it doesn't come back that way, that's fabulous. Figure something else out. But the thing is, when we were at the hospital, they see a big spike from 3 to 5 years old for type 1 diabetes, and 10 to 12 is the other time when they see a significant spike in kiddos. Yep. And I'm not saying that to scare somebody, but if in the event it lands in your lap, there's a huge community and a huge team to support you and to back you up and to help you with a lot of things and to not make it be so scary. Because even being in the medical field and knowing some of these things, I went through
it. We'll just be honest, you know, it was a really hard hit to our family because, you know, it came out of nowhere. It was not on our radar at all.
No.
0% on our radar. And, you know, it happens, and at first it's this rush of emotions. Is my child okay? Is she going to be okay? What's wrong? Is it actually this? Okay, you get through all of that, you understand what you have. And then you get hit with, well, now my life is completely different. Can I go to the movies? Can I enjoy popcorn? Like with my child, right? Can we all go to the movies? Can we enjoy popcorn? What is eating like? What is our routine like? Because it's shattered.
Yeah, and
right?
just trying to figure out food.
In the moment, it's completely shattered, right? Like, oh my gosh. Now, the normal things of just eating, snacking, everything now is complicated.
Not micromanaging.
Right? Yeah. It's no just, can I have a fruit snack? Absolutely have a fruit snack. Those days are gone.
Yeah.
But we do want to let you know, though, that it is okay. You will figure it out, and it's not as bad as you initially think that it's going to be.
Yeah.
it's work and you need to manage. It needs to be managed. And that's basically what they teach you in the hospital is you need to manage it, right? It's manageable and you need to manage it.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
And you may not always win.
No.
And
oh my gosh.
that has been the biggest thing for us that we've kind of gone through over the last little bit. So we had a 1 month follow-up. When we went into the hospital, we were at 9.2. A month later, just from getting her on insulin and making some like diet, like understanding that, we were down to 8.2 in 1 month. That is a huge drop. So like even just providing your kiddo with the things that their lazy pancreas is not doing, it makes a big difference for them. And these kiddos are so resilient, and Ellie is she's amazing. Like, she is so funny, and if she was ever going to have this, I'm thankful that it's actually happening now versus later, because she's going to grow up this is the way things are.
Yeah.
And she's old enough that you can kind of compromise with her. You can kind of like entice her for other things. But it still is a battle.
If this happens to you, just take a deep breath. Embrace all of the things, because there's going to be a lot of things and you're going to be so worried about what's the change, what's the new normal going to look like, right?
Yeah.
Just take a pause. Get the learning. It's not that difficult. It's really not. There's a lot of tools. There's a lot of resources. And just kind of step by step it, right? Don't worry so much about what's the new normal going to look like and can I do all these things and oh my gosh, my poor kid and oh my gosh, because there's so many struggles that we probably can't even talk about them right now. Is like, can I take her around her family and have them eating food that she can't have and all this timing stuff and just literally step by step it, right? Get your knowledge, get home, get settled. And for us, we found something that worked in the beginning for her sugars, which was Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And build have your rock, right? And start building around it, but don't live and die by your numbers.
No, because you could do the same thing every single day and it's not going to match up.
We had a lot of frustration in the beginning of, well, they said that we could eat whatever we want. Okay, well, we're eating whatever we want. Okay, we're following exactly what we're supposed to do and it's not working. It takes time to dial it in for the specific person, right? So what was working for us may not work for somebody else.
Yeah.
And vice versa. And it takes time it's trial and error for a while. Mm-hmm. And it's really hard if you're an engaged parent, right? Because it kind of seems from our conversations with the hospital that there's a lot of not engaged people.
Yeah.
Okay, let me change that. There's poorly managed diabetes, right? Which is why they push everyone to get on a pump ASAP. Yep. Assuming that you're an engaged parent, you're going to go through your oh my gosh, the world is over. Okay, give me the information. Okay, let me buck up for my kid. I'm ready to go home and hit a home run. They gave me my instructions. I'm going to follow my instructions to a T, and now I'm not winning.
Yeah.
And that's literally what happened to us.
Yeah.
Why are we not winning?
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing everything you told me to do, and I'm not winning.
Yeah.
And it takes probably, how long do you think it took to get kind of a good flow and like get some changes going and get like some things happen in a month? A couple weeks, 3 weeks?
I mean, I would truly, to start feeling comfortable and not being so scared, probably 4 to 6 weeks.
So give yourself some time. And literally, it's just, am I having major ketones? No. Okay. Am I learning how the body reacts? And this is a conversation that we had, right? It was, why are our numbers so high? Okay, but and I kept saying, is she reacting to her insulin? Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we know if she goes high, this is not diabetes 101, right? But just if she goes high and it's time to give a correction and we give a correction, that she's going to react. Okay, so we know we can control that, right? If she gets low, can we give her something and she comes up? Yes. Okay, so we can somewhat control the situation, at least in a safe range, while we're trying to trial and error these ratios and all these kinds of things. If you can get comfortable with that, you will be okay.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool. Primary Children's most of their nurses that are there are type 1 diabetics, which is really...
It's interesting.
I love it. I'm not going to lie. I love it because they live it. They've lived it. Some of these guys were, Ellie's age when they were diagnosed. Some of them were in their 20s. Some of them were in their teens. And it's just so beautiful to to talk to somebody. And they're just like, you know what? You can do the same thing every single day and it's not going to win. My A1C is 6.5, so I have great control. But
it's funny is we're talking to these guys, and then we'll notice that they have a pump, or we'll notice that they have a CGM sticker, and we're like, wait, are you a diabetic? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all good. I've had it for 20 years, and it's all good.
Yeah. And it's beautiful. It's like really beautiful to see that light, and that...
You see them as an adult. You see them thriving. You see them working. You see that
and they've gone back to give in the medical field, which I think is just beautiful.
This is a whole massive thing.
Yeah.
And because, your family they don't quite understand it. And it's not a complicated situation.
No, but it's scary.
But it's scary, and they don't understand what can I do, what can I not do, and I don't know that we have advice as far as how to handle that perfectly.
No.
Do your best.
It can't, you can't really, be necessarily, upset about it. It just kind of is what it is until, they kind of, dive in and actually see the day-to-day. Then it's like, oh, this was way different than I thought it was.
Oh, yeah. Have them shadow you. Even for a couple meals. Have them shadow you for a couple meals and go through this is where we're at, and this is my ratios, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm planning, and maybe it's going to work, maybe it's not. Don't live and die by those numbers, though. They're just there to kind of give you a rough, this is kind of where we're at.
But even
in the beginning.
In normal people, though, I don't want to say normal people, even in people without diabetes, your sugar is never stable. Your sugar is never the same.
It's
so you can't, in a diabetic, they don't have a pancreas to try to regulate that for them. You are their pancreas.
You are a manual pancreas.
You are their pancreas.
Yeah.
So, it's the body is doing what it's trying to do. There's just a lazy employee that doesn't show up to work like they're supposed to. So,
I just want to say it's okay. Step by step it. Don't worry about the future so much, because it's okay. And it's going to be okay, right? Get home. Make sure that you're comfortable with, can I affect this if it's going this way or this way? If it's going down, do I know how to get it back up? Yes. Mm-hmm. And I have a proven record of being able to make it react. Okay, great. If we're too high, can I do something to get it down? Yes. If you can do that, you're okay.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
You're okay. You will be
if
okay.
If it's high, you give them insulin. If it's low,
Follow
you give them food.
Follow your rules. Yep. It's not too bad. It's okay.
Yeah. Here we are, not really that far into our journey, but
4 months.
4 months into our journey, and we just had our 3-month follow-up from our previous visit. So we did a meeting with our dietitian nurse, who's also a type 1 diabetic, and had some really great conversation with her. We, over the last few months, have had 2 pretty big illnesses with Ellie, and anybody that knows anything about illness and diabetes, they are not friends. So
if you are cruising right along and all of a sudden you cannot control it like you were, your kid is probably getting sick.
Yeah.
They're either hitting a growth spurt or they're getting sick.
Yeah.
And if they get sick, the whole game changes. And it's not unmanageable, but it takes a lot more to get the reactions that you normally get, right? Just keep that in mind. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we went through 2 illnesses, and that sucked. That is all that I can say nice about it, is that it just super sucked. Sugars are super high.
Can't get them down.
Don't
want to overload.
Yeah.
So what would you say? You would say that we had a stretch where we were really, really killing it.
Yeah.
Was that 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or something? It was a month. How long was that stretch where we were
before
on fire?
she got her first illness?
Sick, yeah.
So she got sick in March. So we had 2 months
But there was a stretch where we were like, man, we are rocking.
Yeah, and I think that was right before that. And then...
She got sick, and we were like, what?
Yeah.
We were rocking. Well, we can't control anything right now. And that's an exaggeration, but it's like you're fighting to just kind of sort of get back.
Mm-hmm. And all of that happened, like, right in the last probably 6 weeks of pregnancy.
And before we moved.
Right before we moved, all of us got sick. I was super sick. Ellie was super sick. Dad was sick for, 5 hours.
In the beginning of this, I told you, we're going to do these big things, and then we pile on more big things. This is just what we used to do. We've retired.
Yeah.
How are you enjoying your retirement from too many...
It's great.
Is it great so far?
Yeah, it's great. I am
retiring from too many things at the same time?
Yeah, it's perfect. Things? I'm happy about it. As I'm sitting here trying to figure out why the alarm is going off upstairs. So...
Real quick, if you have a young one with diabetes...
Or anybody in your house.
That's true. Sorry. But for me specifically, a young one.
Yeah.
Get iPort. iPort?
Yeah.
Was a game changer for us.
Yes.
It's a little port you put on the skin and you inject into the port, and they don't feel the injection whatsoever.
No.
Whatsoever. So specifically for a younger child, that was a game changer for us. iPort, because you don't have to inject directly into the skin. They're not getting poked four times a day.
Minimum.
That's tough. That's really tough. And then also get a sugar pixel. It's just a little alarm that you keep in your room. And it just is always telling you where her sugar's at. You can set alarms and you can do all kinds of things. It's the only device that we're able to find that will extend the range of your CGM. So in our house, our master is on the main floor and our child sleeps on a different floor. And, her CGM couldn't be close enough to us. Mm-mm. It loses range. So Sugar Pixel is the only device that we found that extends that range. And I've said it to you before that I'm very surprised there's only one product on the market. No one else has done anything. So get yourself
really
a Sugar Pixel.
Helpful. It was a little tricky at first, but once we figured it out, it's simple, which diabetes needs simplicity. So it's simple, but that's what I'm trying to figure out over here is like, why is it screaming?
So what are we at? 250 going up?
251 straight arrow.
So another suggestion, and we will do a whole sit down, and we'll probably do a live stream.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to come to the live stream and ask questions, we are not pros. We are just 4 months in on our journey and happy to share what we've learned. And maybe what we've learned will work for you, maybe not. But where was I going with that?
Just talking about numbers and Sugar Pixel and...
Oh, another suggestion would be get them their own device, not a phone. Like get them their own device and have them be the main hub, and then you follow that, and then that also extends your range a little bit.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but we can dive into that another time.
Yeah.
So.
But the only other thing that I will add to our last update, which was actually what led us to wanting to sit down and do kind of a life update, was our recent A1C was at 7.2, and that is so amazing.
And I want to tell you, that's with days above 300. That's with days off the chart.
Two illnesses.
Yeah. Like you will go off the chart, and it's just going to tell you high.
Yeah.
It's not going to tell you your number anymore because you're just too high.
Yeah.
Right. That's with days like that. That's with days with a sudden drop to 60 with a straight down arrow. I should have brought the CGM so I could show what I'm talking about. A straight drop down to 60 with an arrow straight down, boost them up real quick, and we still came out of 702. All of that to say, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So we will dive way more into diabetes, and we want to be a resource for anyone that wants a place to just talk, ask questions, a safe place, not with a doctor where you feel like you have to know what you're talking about, kind of a little bit. You don't have to know what you're talking about. We have no idea what we're talking about. But we've made it, and we're kind of winning, so we kind of want to try to help.
If there's anything, too, that you as, a diabetic parent have found, that you're hey, this is, game changer, this is winner, this combination. If you found sugar-free popsicle, sugar for this, sugar for that,
if you found a tortilla that is Great. Please let us know.
Oh.
I went and spent how much on tortillas? Like
Probably.
$6 for those tortillas?
No, baby. I think
At
those
Sprouts?
were like $13.
Yeah. Sprouts. Keto friendly. Keep them cold.
Yeah, like really picky.
Off the charts, ladies and gentlemen.
That was a 400 for like several hours. Even
Might
with
as
the
well have a
correction.
normal tortilla.
So we did.
Welcome to Diabetes Type 1.
Well, we did a normal tortilla tonight. She's at 251 when she would have been already at 400. That's the tricky part is you don't live by keto with type 1 diabetes. You cannot. Because with keto, the point is to like hold you over, give you fats, make you feel fuller longer. So they want you to do things that are very full of protein, very full of fiber. Net carbs are not a thing in type 1 diabetes. Net carbs are a thing with keto. They're not a thing with type 1.
It also depends on what age you're in your journey. Our daughter is 3 years old, so she is still growing a significant amount. And so our situation involves a lot of growth spurts and she has to have a certain amount of nutrients to be able to grow. You don't want to stunt her growth. So, this is where, some of our struggle.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
And on top of all of that, we have a new baby.
So let's backtrack just a tiny bit. So April 2nd or 3rd. So we were scheduled to close on our house on April the 10th.
Yeah.
And one of Devery's main concerns was she wants to get into this house before this baby comes.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to close on April the 10th. We worked really, really hard. We came through the house, took pictures of everything that needed to be fixed, put together like basically a PowerPoint, sent it to the guy.
Yeah.
And thank you to Dustin. That's our superintendent. He was amazing.
Gosh.
So he could get everything done before our blue tape walk.
Yeah. Perfect.
We were actually able to close on our house 1 week early and start moving in, and we were moved in by the 5th. Saturday the 5th? Yeah.
Yeah.
We moved out of that old house and into this house basically in 2 days.
Yeah. And the people who bought our old house were so kind to let us kind of have a little bit of flexibility on that. That was so sweet of them. Forever grateful for their understanding and...
We really didn't want to move.
Yeah.
We have too many moving parts, and she's at the end of her pregnancy, and we don't want to get too unsettled with our pets and our daughter, and so that worked out really
and
nicely
needing
for
a
us.
kitchen for diabetes. That would have been a total disaster because most places are not diabetic friendly, and it's really tricky to figure out how to dose her with different foods. So home is very safe for us. And also with Ellison, I had her 3 weeks early. My water broke, and she came fast.
Which was right lining up to when our house was supposed to be.
Yes.
So,
yeah. So that made me really nervous to try to have... I would have not been able to do a newborn and moving and a type 1 diabetic and our dogs and all the things at that time. That would have just not worked out. So luckily we got in, we got settled, and we got settled.
Yeah, he gave us 3 weeks. Once we got in the house. We got everything. I mean, I was working my butt off. I was like, let me get this done. Let me get this functional. Let me get that set up. Let me get...
Yeah.
Because the baby's coming, and then we gave us 3 weeks. So we were able to get the house mostly done.
Yeah. We had to give him an eviction notice.
Yeah, we actually had to schedule an induction and...
Yeah, so we'll have to go through that whole chat another time too. We can go into his whole delivery and...
He's doing great so far.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's just sitting boy. There's
been
kind
alive
of
since August.
Yeah, a little rundown. Our bags are...
We need to touch on issues with the new house that you don't think that you're going to have.
Oh.
Addresses and internet, things of this nature.
We're in the middle of our city.
We moved closer to the middle of town, and I can't get internet for the life of me. I started in a month before we moved trying to get internet over here because it's a big thing for me, and
nope.
No one wants to deal with it. post office can't get our. We still don't get mail. We have to go to the post office. They're kind of holding our mail, kind of not. It's new construction.
Yeah.
If I look out this window, I can see a whole entire neighborhood.
Everywhere. We can throw a rock at our neighbor's
and
house.
what's funny is you're like, I'm gonna build this brand new house. I'm gonna move into it. I don't have to worry about nothing. I got a light falling off the ceiling. I got a fix. I got a post office that can't get me my mail. She's fighting me with DoorDash every other freaking day.
Yeah.
DoorDash is dropping our deliveries at random houses saying, I can't find your house. Go find your food. I'm doing half of your job. I'm now door dashing for myself. What?
This is hide and seek with my lunch.
And I'm not kidding. That actually happened to her.
It did. It did. And the sad thing is you cannot miss our house.
No. It's the only one.
If you were to read the directions, like if you keep driving down this road, you literally will run into our house. There are no other houses that you can get to, and
literally when the kind of the GPS stops and we kind of fall off of the world into our brand new beautiful neighborhood. If you just would put together, okay, this is where I'm at, and the address is just a step further, and there's a brand new house. There's a brand new built house right there with cars out front of it and lights that are turned on. And it matches the description.
You turn around and you go dump it at the neighbor's house.
It matches the description, but I'm lost.
Yeah.
I'm lost. GPS says I can't.
Yeah, I can't.
It's like their eyes, like as soon as they hit the wall of like the neighborhood ends, the street that goes to our house, like their eyes are
I can't see anymore.
Help.
You can't miss it. You cannot miss it.
Oh, you can.
You turn on the road and you say the White House
You
on the corner.
shouldn't be able to miss it.
Oh, maybe you can't now because all the houses on the corner are all white.
You shouldn't be able to miss it. I'm not going to say you can't because apparently you can. To us, you can't miss it.
Several times.
So as we watch these houses pop up all around us, we're just like, oh.
Welcome to the neighborhood,
Order
guys.
some packages. Maybe I'll get it. DoorDash some food. Maybe it'll end up at my house. I don't know.
We need to get like business cards made of our name and our phone number, our address, our email, a picture of our house, so we can go give it to our neighbors and say this is where our packages go.
We don't even live. We're like literally 2 streets from like a main major road that goes like all the way to the airport.
All the way.
Like
yeah.
Just for like a reference, as far as like we're
But
not.
what's really silly is that Utah does a grid system. So if you understand anything about like zeros here and 5 is here,
5th south, 6th south,
you have it played out for you. So graphing in school, those guys may need to do some graphing. So anyhow, if there's anything that you're curious about, let us know.
Yeah. We would like to do a diabetic live stream at some point.
Yeah.
Answer some questions. And it's not just us sitting up here being like, we're the pros, let us tell you some things. No. Let's talk about it. Tell us about your experience. If DKA happened to you, like, tell us how you found them. Tell us what happened because that would be a nightmare for us. Like, tell us how you got through it. Like, tell us, like...
And I want to give you a hug.
Oh, my gosh. I'm very thankful, forever thankful that we did not... to us, our little girl is just the most beautiful, precious little thing ever.
Yeah.
And, like, just to imagine, like, her being unresponsive, like, would be crazy. So, anyways, so we got lots to talk about coming up. We're gonna talk more about diabetes, type 1, that's what we know about. We're gonna talk more about selling a house and buying a house and
having a
baby boy that is very fussy when you had a baby girl that was not.
Yeah. Total game changer.
Complete.
So there is all of that.
So now that we're retired, what do we got coming up?
We got
nothing.
Long walks in
absolutely nothing. Nothing. We're not doing anything. We're going to sit right here and talk to you. That's what we're doing. We're not doing a dang thing. Absolutely nothing.
No. This is...
boring.
We've got some life things that we really would love to focus on now that we're in our new house and stable and not ever leaving.
We're going to homeschool.
Yeah.
We got a lot to talk about.
We do have a lot to talk about, but it's all geared around our family and all geared around just simplicity. So.
Yeah, because our days of the, what would you call that? Cluster?
Chaos.
Our days of just like, oh, let's take one leap. Let's take one big step and build a brand new house and put everything, like, let's just put everything we got into it. And then, oh, let's have a baby on top of it. And then, oh, let's also have type 1 diabetes on top of it. And then, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and anybody that knows the two of us, you know that we're kind of, like, we're all in when we're all in, but we are a little slow to, we got to decide if we're going to come to the party first. If you get us to the party, then we're all in, we're ready to go. But we've got to get to the party first. And our whole relationship has just been waterboarding.
For lack of a better term. That's something else we can talk about is our timeline up until we retired from the nonsense.
Yeah.
It feels good to be retired.
It does. It feels good.
I never thought I'd be retired at this age.
I know.
Not from working, but like from nonsense. It feels good.
Chaos.
My goal is to have someone be like, what's new? And I'd be like, absolutely nothing, man. I'm boring. And I'll be like, you are boring. And I'd be like, I earned it.
Yeah. I shaved on Tuesday.
I earned the boring.
That will be the highlight. I shaved on Tuesday and my toddler and my infant didn't scream the whole time. Yeah.
Pick your wins.
Yeah. So there
minimize your goals.
There's the life update with the Pisto.
Yeah, there you go. So we're gonna dive more into all of those things and more to come.
Yeah. So until next time, guys. Peace.